I'm gonna gather up the botanicals that have become my favorite in 2025, throw them all into a pot still with some alcohol, and see if they're delicious together. Let's get stuck in, shall we? I have 1 litre of vodka going into the pot. Come on, get in there. There we go. And you know what? Should I? Yeah, why not? I've got a little bit of the tinned peach moonshine brandy, whatever you want to call it as well. So hey, let's throw that in. I'm gonna guess that's about 1.2 litres of spirit in total. I have literally no recipe for this. I am making it up as I go because this is just about having a little bit of fun at the end of the year and hanging out with you guys for an extra video. But I will weigh all of this because the worst thing that could happen is I make this, it's absolutely delicious and none of us know how to make it again. That would be worse than making it and it just being nasty, I think. So, and the first of my favorite botanicals is juniper. Is that boring? Am I boring for saying that? But how could I not say that? Like, you can't have gin without juniper. And gin's just awesome. And on top of that, I've kind of started playing around with juniper a little bit more in terms of like thinking how else it could be used. And I haven't got to the point where I've really got a recipe dialed to share with you guys, but I feel like my love of juniper during that process has kind of built up and expanded a little bit even more. So let's just eyeball this. Oh, it would help if I turn my scales on. Yeah, that looks about right. What do we got? That's 39 grams. I'm cool with that. Man, I love that smell. There's just, I don't know, there's something so nostalgic about juniper for me now. I guess I've been working with it for ages. I just love it. Now, I could crush this juniper. Can I be bothered? You know what? In my experience, playing with juniper more, crushing it tends to make the juniper flavor more intense, but it also pushes it more towards the resinous, piney kind of side of things and away from more of the berry-like flavors. So I'm cool with 39 grams, uncrushed, straight into the pot. I realized I should get some B-roll of that going into the pot, so I'm gonna add another 10 grams. We'll call it 49. Next, botanical, and if you've watched any videos in the last 2 years, if you know me at all, you can't be surprised by this. The next one, the next of my favorite botanicals of 2025 is wormwood. If we're gonna do wormwood, let's do some wormwood. Not a crazy amount, not like absinthe level wormwood, but 20 grams, I'm happy with that. In it goes. Here's the deal with wormwood. One, over the last few years, and especially working with Alan Bishop on the whole absinthe thing, I've fallen in love with wormwood because wormwood is to absinthe as juniper is to gin. You can't make a gin without juniper. You can't make an absinthe without wormwood. That's my opinion. And if you say differently, I think you're wrong. That's fine. We can disagree. And honestly, I think it would have made it onto this list just for absinthe. But once again, I've been messing around with it and trying it at different levels and things like this. And it adds a very, very unique flavor to a beverage. It's just a super unique herbal flavor and sensation in the mouth. So wormwood 100% has a spot on this list for just being, I don't know, man, just being wormwood. All right, next thing, the humble lemon. I know this sounds boring, and honestly, for the longest time, I kind of tried to rebel against lemon. Anytime a recipe called for lemon, I'd be like, screw that, I'm gonna use lime or orange instead. But the longer I've been doing this kind of thing, and the more I actually think about the recipes that include lemon, the more I realize that lemon is an absolute superstar, not because of making things taste like lemon. It's more about almost like seasoning a drink. Lemon to me, over the last year especially, has started to be much more of a obvious complementary flavor to put into things like this. If I wanted a strong citrus flavor in this distillate, sure, I probably would go to using orange or lime, grapefruit, something like that. But when I want the other botanicals to kind of be the star and be supported by citrus, I'm starting to find it really hard to go past lemon. In 2025, in my mind, lemon has become absolutely top tier as a botanical. All right, that is 8 grams. You know what? Let's push it. Let's push it a little bit further. Let's go to about 11 or 12. All right, that's 11 grams. I'm happy with that. I have one more botanical to add into the favorites list. Then I've got a couple of honorable mentions and a wild card to add into this as well. Something that I've always wanted to use that I've never used. We'll see how it works. The last top tier botanical for me is aniseed. Green anise, not star anise, not licorice root, but green anise. And I discovered this as a botanical once again through the whole absinthe thing. I guess you're probably seeing a trend here. But for me, this is a nostalgic thing. Like from the earliest memories I have, number one, my nana had anise lollies around, and number two, there used to be a dairy, a milk bar, a convenience store, you know, like a teeny tiny little supermarket type operation across the road from our house. And my first memories of freedom, I guess, like being able to do what I do by myself, was when I was finally allowed to cross the road by myself and go over to the dairy by myself, and I'd come home with once again, anise lollies. So thank you to absinthe for bringing this back into my life. Huge nostalgic memories for me here. 35 grams, I'm cool with that, and I'm not gonna crush it, so I'll put it a little bit higher than I would have if I was gonna crush it. Once again, kind of being lazy here. This part of the video was easy for me because I'd already done a whole bunch of thinking about what my favorite botanicals were. A little while ago, Erin and I took a road trip to a local company called Bearded to work with them to create the Distiller. Beard oil and beard balm that smell like an alchemist's hideaway, specifically my alchemist's hideaway. Because they're scented like juniper, wormwood, lemon, and anise. My favorite botanicals. Like I said, I'd already done a lot of thinking about this. I am super proud of these. I literally use it every day. I love it. It makes me happy, and I hope it'll do the same for you. Right now, it's available on chasercraft.com in our New Zealand and American warehouses, and it's on sale right now. So jump over to Chase the Craft, pick some up. Awesome stocking stuffers, if I do say so myself. Our sale had officially ended, and we had a couple of people get in touch and say, I know this is cheeky, but can we get in on the action even though it finished? And in the end, we're like, yeah, man, why not? And if you're going to bring lollies to class, bring enough for everyone so you can thank those people for getting you a little bit more time on the sale. Anyway, time for the highly recommended botanicals. The first of these is going to do exactly the opposite of what I was saying about the lemon, and that is orange powder. This one is sweet orange powder because I ran out of bitter orange powder. But both have been really, really good. When I want something to actually taste like orange, rather than that way more like piercing essential oil like orange, these powders have been awesome. It's a much deeper, richer, kind of like cooked orange, I guess you would say, flavor, rather than the really essential oil piercing flavor. I don't want a whole lot of this. Let's go with 3.5 grams. This almost made it onto the list, but it didn't quite get there. And I feel like it's strangely only possible because of the argument I made for the lemon in my mind. That doesn't really make sense, but I'm trying to force it to make sense. Anyway, the next one. This is a root. It is a root that is almost never the star of anything. In fact, if anyone can tell me when Angelica root is the star of a beverage show, please tell me. I would love to give that a nudge. This stuff always just hums along in the background. You need damn near none of it. I'm gonna put literally 90 grams into here, which is not a lot. But I love this stuff for two reasons. One is it does give a very interesting earthy presence to anything you put it into, and especially when you're using a lot of these really big, bold, botanical flavors, it kind of counterbalances them just a little bit, like it grounds all of the other flavors. And two, there's something about putting root into a botanical mix like this. Both angelica root and licorice root do a similar thing for me. And that is I don't even know how to describe it, but a gin, for example, without a root in it that you almost can't even taste, just feels less cohesive, less held together, less complete. Like it's a hamburger that hasn't been seasoned or something weird like that. And for that reason, it definitely needs the highly recommended place. I'll be real, there was a bit of a fight between licorice root and angelica, but angelica is way more versatile in my mind than licorice root. All right, team, time for the wild card. And this is something that I think I bought like 2 years ago. Shout out to HB Malt Station in Hawke's Bay that I bought it from. I haven't used it yet. I did buy it, but they sent me an awesome note in the parcel. I remember that. This is sarsaparilla root, and I have been pondering literally like for the last 3 or 4 years, what's gonna happen when I throw this into a pot still and distill it like a gin botanical. And yet I still haven't done it because I don't know why. So screw it, let's do it now, I guess. Let's just double check the weight on this. Whoops. Okay, 10.2 grams. Well done, HB Malt Station, for accurate measurement. It doesn't smell like a whole lot. I guess I can chew some and see what it's like. I'll be real, I was kind of expecting that to taste more like pseudo-sweet, like licorice root. But that's kind of interesting. It's almost like oaky and vanilla-y and cooking spice. All right, well, let's stick it in there and see if I can pick it out. That is gonna do it for us, team. That's all of the botanicals. So I'm gonna set the lid on. We'll get this warmed up, let it macerate for a couple of hours, and then I will distill it and see what we end up with here. We are up and running, and like always, gonna have a little taste. I think we're good. And we can switch out to a larger vessel, taking a little bit off the top for weird botanicalness. If you're watching this video, my guess is that you're probably one of the longtime viewers or the core crew that supports our channel disproportionately compared to the rest of the people. So thank you so freaking much. 2025 has been kind of a crazy year for us in terms of the YouTube platform changing a little bit, but more in terms of the way I see the channel going forward and how we're going to focus our energies over the next few years. Don't stress, YouTube is always going to be the core of our business. We're always going to be making these free videos for you guys to watch. But the way that we collaborate with other cool people doing really cool things, I want to start tweaking that a little bit. And the only reason I can do that is because of you people. So thank you so much. The beard oil is kind of a non-distilling specific example of what I want our business to look more like in 3 to 5 years. I want to develop long-term, meaningful relationships with people that do really cool stuff, whether that be, you know, people that make cool products that I use every day, people that make dope videos that I just want to hang out more with, the way we organize our store, the way we organize our content, the way I spend my time, and the way that we get to relate to you more, including events. It sucks that I can't really show you what's going on behind the scenes right now, but just know that I appreciate you for allowing us to do this stuff. And when we finally start rolling more of these things out and making them public, I really believe and hope that you're gonna love them as well. Sorry for rambling. This is just me trying to say a really, really big, deep, heartfelt thank you for enabling us, for letting us do this and be able to do things that, yeah, they're smart business decisions, but mostly they're just fun. Like, that's awesome. Anyway, back to the still. Thanks, guys. I straight up don't quite know how to categorize this, but I think I like it. Probably at the moment, the wormwood's the most like dominant flavor. I haven't really caught any of that juniper, which is kind of surprising. But my hunch is, my guess is that sarsaparilla root is actually coming through. That's kind of wild. We might have stumbled onto something here, team. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the run. You know what, I'm gonna call it there. Same deal as nearly always. ABV's just dropping. I think it's probably down actually at about 50% already. There's actually still some flavor in this one, but it's starting to get like a weird, like watered down flavor. It's not bad right now, but I think it's gonna get worse quickly. And I've already collected 600 mils, so we'll call it there. I'll get the stuff proofed down, let it sit for a little while, and we can have a taste. 79%, 590 mils. And let's proof this to, let's go with 45%, eh? In with the water. Sorry for the siren team, volunteer firefighters have got their work cut out for them right now. Observed alcohol reading, 48%. Temperature, 29. Calibration, 20, I hope. 20. So the corrected is 44.2. We're right on the money. All right, let's get this bottled up. All right, let's have a taste, shall we? The wormwood and anise I was expecting, and I'm so here for that. Love that combination. But it's not anything like absinthe. The thing that is surprising to me is that the juniper's not that present. I can get it, but I thought it was going to be a little more intense. The thing that's really surprising is the amount of kind of earthy, like base notes that are coming through. And my hunch is that the two different roots kind of doubled up on each other. And I didn't think about the earthy side of the sarsaparilla when I added it in there. There is a very fun spice kind of note, and the sarsaparilla works really nice with the anise too. It's a very deep, warming overall sensation. The wormwoods, the slight pininess from the juniper and the lemon are kind of counteracting that and balancing it. On the nose, it's not like anything I've really smelt before, but it's really good. I dig it. Very, very similar on the tongue. It is slightly medicinal in that it has all of those crazy like herbal botanical spice flavors all coming together. I'm gonna say a descriptor, and it doesn't actually taste like that, it's just kind of similar to it. A little bit like Jägermeister. Tastes way better than Jägermeister, but it has that kind of vibe on the tongue. Dude, the more I drink this, the more into it I am. Unfortunately, we're going into summer. Like, it's been pretty damn hot out here in the shed the last few days. I think this is going to be a winter drink. If you're in America or anywhere else in the northern hemisphere going into winter, like, actually, give this a nudge. And maybe try a little bit of sugar with it. Make it a little bit liqueur-like. Because dang, this is fun. I'm into it. So, one last time, a huge, huge thank you for just being you and supporting us by showing up here and watching these videos. If you want to support us in a little bit more tangible way, go and check out chasethecraft.com right now. Grab some stuff on sale. Enjoy it for Christmas. Give it away for Christmas. We'd appreciate that. Or if not, just come back and see us for the next video. I'll catch you next time, team. See ya.